Stephen Destiny Bonnell II is a pioneer in the video game streaming space who got his start in 2011 on Justin TV, the site that is now known as Twitch. Although first gaining popularity as a StarCraft 2 streamer, at the present date, Destiny is best known for his political commentary and debates. Destiny tends to describe himself as a social democrat or omni-liberal, and it's probably safe to say that his political views place him firmly on the left side of the political spectrum. With that said, Destiny is a very controversial figure, and he seems to be hated by nearly all other major political content creators on the left. But this hasn't always been the case. I mean, Destiny has always been a controversial figure, but quite a few leftist content creators that used to be friendly with Destiny now refuse to even speak with him. For example, Destiny played a substantial role in the early careers of both Vaush and Hasan Piker, two of the most popular leftist streamers. But if you go into either of these streamers' communities today and post a comment even remotely pro-Destiny, you are likely to receive a ban. So what gives? How did Destiny, the godfather of left-wing political live streaming, become a pariah amongst his peers? Well, as far as I can tell, there are 4 main reasons why people on the left hate Destiny. So let's get into it. When Destiny first started to pivot toward a focus on political content, one of the main things he was known for were his efforts to de-radicalize people on the far right. And one of the ways in which he would go about this was through debate with popular online right-wing figures. To name a few, Destiny has debated Sargon of Akkad, Lauren Southern, Nick Fuentes, and perhaps most famously, JonTron, although he isn't exactly a right-wing figure, but anyway. Now, there are some that take issue with Destiny even platforming these people by debating them, but I think the debates are all well and good with most. Where Destiny really gets flack from his critics is in his willingness to be friendly with some of these controversial figures. For example, it's pretty clear by this point that Destiny would count Lauren Southern as a friend, and he's definitely friendly with Nick Fuentes as well. Fuentes likes to joke that he and Destiny are best friends, which is obviously an exaggeration, but the two have met in real life, and Destiny even invited Fuentes into his home. There's a saying popular in left-leaning internet circles you may have come across. There's different variations, but it goes something like, if 9 people are sitting at a table with 1 Nazi, then there are 10 Nazis at the table. Basically, the idea behind the saying is that it's not okay to ever be friends with a person that has bigoted beliefs. And this seems to be a popular sentiment with more left-leaning folks. In his defense, Destiny has written, "I do not see political differences as some inherent insurmountable obstacle preventing positive personal interactions." This is all made worse for Destiny by the nature of online discourse, in which someone might see a 5-second clip of Destiny sitting next to someone like Sneako and automatically assume that means that Destiny agrees with everything Sneako has ever said, even though that is certainly far from the truth. It probably is the case for a lot of people that they can't simply be friends with someone that has drastically different views on the world, but Destiny is a very independently minded thinker. He does not seem to be very easily influenced by those around him, so it makes sense that he would be able to befriend someone that he strongly disagrees with on key issues. And that brings us to the next reason why people hate Destiny. Destiny sometimes stakes out positions that conflict with the popular sentiment on the left. It's easy to see how this would rub people the wrong way. I mean, a hell of a lot of people are do or die for their side of the political spectrum. You either fall in line 100% with the orthodoxy, or you are an absolutely detestable subhuman piece of filth. Destiny does not fall in line. In his own words, when doing online debate about politics, it is extremely important to have a philosophical foundation from which to draw practical conclusions. So, Destiny always strives to form his opinions on any given topic by thinking about it and then reaching a conclusion based on logic and reason. Unfortunately, I think we all know that that is not how most people arrive at their political beliefs. Most people form their beliefs through mob rule, which goes something like, opinion A is the progressive position, I'm a progressive, therefore I agree with opinion A. So when Destiny goes against the grain on a sensitive issue, some people simply cannot understand it. They think, well, that's that, he's on that side now. There are plenty of issues where Destiny has taken a position contrary to most others on the left, such as his belief that it is morally acceptable to use the gamer word in private depending on the context, or his belief that incest is not necessarily wrong. But perhaps the best example of Destiny's refusal to fall in line with the progressive status quo can be seen with his views concerning the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. If I get anything wrong, please correct me in the comments, but as I understand it, Destiny's position is essentially that Rittenhouse was stupid to go to Kenosha, but nevertheless he was morally justified in using lethal force to defend himself. Now, whether or not you agree with Destiny's take, Destiny has extensively explained both verbally and in written form how he arrived at his conclusion. And it is clear that he has taken care to understand the situation and reason through things fairly. But that just doesn't matter to some people. Destiny supports Kyle Rittenhouse, therefore Destiny is bad. But then again, well, I'm about to show you a clip, and if all you saw was this clip, then, well, judge for yourself.
The rioting needs to fucking stop. And if that means like white redneck fucking militia dudes out there mowing down dipshit protesters that think that they could torch buildings at 10 p.m., then at this point they have my fucking blessing, because holy shit, this fucking shit needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago. Like, holy fuck.
And that brings us to the third reason why everybody hates Destiny. Destiny often speaks very hyperbolically and says inflammatory things, especially on Twitter. In defense of the mowing down protesters clip, Destiny has written, "My specific issue in this debate was that I didn't believe it was morally acceptable to defend rioters destroying private businesses, regardless of their legitimate grievances with the local police. When I think of rioters attacking and destroying private property, I generally support citizens' rights to defend that property." Well, okay, that sounds much more reasonable than what he had said before. Maybe if he had just phrased it like that to begin with and left it at that, he wouldn't have lost his Twitch partnership. But that's just how Destiny operates sometimes. For example, growing frustrated listening to Sam Cedar talk about Kyle Rittenhouse, Destiny said,
"If the races were reversed on just the shooter, because obviously all the people shot were white, you would actually be guzzling buckets of his cum."
A statement that Sam didn't seem to be very happy with. Some have hypothesized that Destiny speaks like this in order to entice opponents to debate. I don't think it's that deep, but it is true that sometimes after Destiny posts an inflammatory tweet or makes an edgy statement on stream, that he'll end up debating someone about what he said, at which time he usually tones down the rhetoric and calmly explains what he really meant. And I can understand why Destiny might think this is a reasonable approach. After all, well, that brings us to the fourth and final reason why so many content creators on the left hate Destiny. Destiny is a very talented debater, and a lot of Destiny's most ardent haters have lost debates to him in the past. Take Vaush for example. Vaush, formerly known as Irish Laddie, is a popular leftist political streamer that got his start in Destiny's DGG community. He and Destiny have had a bit of a tumultuous relationship. Vaush was booted from DGG in 2019 for sexual harassment, but eventually things cooled down and the two streamers would chat and debate from time to time. But as it stands now, Vaush absolutely refuses to even speak with Destiny. But if you watch some of their debates, it's not hard to see why Vaush would want to avoid him. I mean, obviously, whether someone looked good or bad in a debate is up to your own personal interpretation, so I encourage you to watch these debates for yourself, but I think it says a lot that Destiny is willing to debate Vaush at any time, and Vaush is not willing to debate Destiny at all. But Vaush isn't the only leftist content creator that hates Destiny simply because they've made themselves look bad in debates against him. Another example is Hasan Piker, aka Hasanabi. Back in the day, Hasan and Destiny were friends, but currently, much like Vaush, Hasan refuses to even speak to Destiny. Frictions between the two first came about with the infamous Cop Mala debate, and then a few months later tensions flared again as the two debated the morality of making edgy jokes in private. You can watch those debates for yourself to decide who you think comes off looking better, but when Destiny is willing to debate Hasan anytime, and Hasan absolutely refuses to debate Destiny, it should be pretty obvious that Hasan knows he can't compete. Now, I will also say that just because someone optically loses a debate doesn't necessarily mean that they were wrong and the other person was right, so I do encourage you to check up on all these interactions I've mentioned and draw your own conclusions. Anyway, I specifically mentioned Vaush and Hasan, but trust me, there are a whole lot more Destiny-hating content creators that fall into this category. It's natural that people hate to lose, and when the competition in question is a debate about ideas, it makes sense that the impact of a loss could really do damage to a person. I mean, it's your reputation at stake, and not only that, but your intellect, your virtue. Some people just can't take it. It makes sense, especially when you consider the fact that a large portion of content creators have hugely inflated egos. Not me though, I'm different. Anyway, thanks for watching. Now watch this one next.